Hey everybody, it's so happy. I'm so happy to be here. Again, I'm so grateful, incredibly. Once again, this week you're in luck. The thinking has all been done for you. Just follow along. Go about your business. So today's primary day in New York. It's a big day. A lot at stake with the candidates. And I'll tell you, something more than any time in my life, this election cycle has shown me that in fact, there are two Americas. And you might think, oh, it's the rich and it's the poor and there's all that commie shit. No. There's two Americas, all right. And you know who they are? There's the rulers. We call them the establishment and the elites. And there's the rest of us. So let's just face it. What the fuck, America?
What the fuck America did to me? Trickery or conspiracy? Good white girl, not Hillary, kidding me. Nothing gonna change my sensibility. Life's a bitch, give it all the chivalry. Overheard in a broke man's soliloquy. Bust guns or break them down lyrically. Ring bells, I'm talking about liberty. Not tripping, shit got cigarette. Far from the truth in which proximity? Real authenticity, can't rate well when you're false officially. Leave marks, be parts of history. Who do we charge for the scars initially? Watch your enemies. Everybody brother ending up shot Kennedys.
All right, so again, talking about the primary that happens to be today in New York, but also just the election process in general. Again, during my lifetime, I never really noticed, this disparity between what the people want, what they call the popular right. I don't care if you're for Hillary or Bernie or Cruz or Don or any of these guys. But the fact is all sides are squawking about superdelegate this and superdelegate that. And the fact of the matter is, we in this country, one of the fundamental, reasons for our being, raison d'être, that's French. So, is our right to vote. Right to vote and be represented by the people that we vote for. And it's a very coveted thing that doesn't really exist in many, many parts of the world. And we all know this. Well, when it does exist sometimes, it's for the Chinese Politburo or the freaking Russian, whatever they're called. Maybe they're the Politburo, what the fuck ever. Point is, the vote really doesn't matter, okay? And yet, even though Americans can vote, and as I've said many times, there's people, literally risking life and limb to get into this country to hopefully someday take advantage of those kind of rights and privileges that come with being American. That's what we're hoping, aren't we, with these immigrants? So, we can vote. All of us, since we're 18, you can vote. And like some paltry amount votes in the of the potential electorate. If there's 100% of people that can vote, let's say, this is a little bit out of my ass, but it's something around 62% on a good day. The rest of them don't even care. They just stay home and gripe, Monday morning quarterback type situation. Anyway, my point is, isn't it funny that your vote matters? How long have we heard this since we're little kids? Every vote matters. Everything matters. And you don't have to have ID and all this stuff because your vote is so important that we don't want to disenfranchise you. But yet, state after state after state, we're having situations where the caucuses are, they're picking the candidate, and this one says he's got more delegates. Bernie's crushing Hillary, but somehow she walks away with more delegates, and Trump is just murdering it in what would be a total vote situation, but Ted Cruz is stomping his ass, stomping him a new mud hole on the ground game. All of that aside, here's why people like Trump and Bernie Sanders have caught fire with people's emotions, and follow me on this. I just told you how important the vote is. It's a privilege. Many people around the world can't do it. And when they do it, it's purely symbolic. Yeah, you're voting for the fucking guy we tell you to vote for. There's only one guy on the ballot. Circle it in and we take the hands. Point is, nowadays, people are saying, we're all seeing this stuff. Well, Colorado, they decided not to vote. And then, wait a minute, Bernie won Wisconsin and she got more delegates because they're here's what I'm going to tell you. We, the electorate, the plebes, We don't want to hear about the rules. Whether Trump should have known the rules and Bernie knows the rules and the we don't give a shit about that. You get your own, and that's where the establishment comes in. That's where I say to you that there's the rulers and the ruled. I don't want to hear that, well, he's known about the rules for a year and a half. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I've already said how much I hate that. Anyways, the vote, we're being told over and over again, well, you've been telling us since we're little kids that your vote matters. We don't want to disenfranchise the underprivileged and the African Americans and the old people and the dumb white country people. This is what we've been told, yes or no? And yet now, people in Colorado are complaining all over the place. In Wisconsin, they're saying, whoa, this isn't what the party bosses then sit back and they explain to the plebes, we'll be picking this nominee. That's the way it's going to go. And if you don't like it, lump it. Well, guess what? Maybe our vote doesn't matter, does it now? All right, so again, and listen, kids, how much more clear can it be to all of you? All of us, we're sycophants, toadies. And listen, there's no irony lost to me on the fact that, and I'm hardly the first person to say this, but I'm the first person to say it like this. So it's funny that now, like the whole 60s radicals, the love children, the people that wanted the free love and they loved it and they were the first ones to be carrying signs, are now in charge. These knucklehead flower power peeps, they're dumb as balls, except a few of them who are real cagey and real conniving. And those are the ones running shit now. And guess what? How funny is it that at the beginning, they're rebelling against the man because the establishment and the man was keeping them down and stifling their creativity. Yes or no? The answer is yes. And now, and they were, because they were Leave It to Beaver type of guys, or so they were. Now we know they were John's Ham type of guys. You see what I did there? John's Ham. Oh. Now they're in charge. And you know what? Now that they're the establishment, the Hillarys, the Billarys. By the way, Hillary's new name, screw Trump. He's calling her, oh, she's Crooked Hillary. Her name is Shrillery. Oh! Anyway, they're in charge now, all these people. So now they get up to the top and they see, damn, now I see what was going on. Now I see why the man was digging it like this and wanting to keep what he had going on. There's a lot of money in the establishment. There's a lot of money in being up in here. And so I thought of a funky analogy, like, you think of like pro athletes of today making crazy money. A-Rod, $29 million a year or something like that. In 1963, Mickey Mantle made $100,000. In 1963, wouldn't he like to get his dick in a little of that A-Rod money? Anyway, the same thing goes on with politicians, except Bernie Sanders. He is the purist. I don't mean the purist in a sense of he's the purest guy. No, a purist. P-U-R-I-S-T. Meaning that I think that Nut has no ulterior motive except for bad learning, bad communism, bad collectivism indoctrination. I mean, that's what I think. But again, if that's what you believe in and that's your thing, you know what? He'd be a lot more harmless of a president than Hillary Clinton. The reason being because Bernie wouldn't get shit passed. And matter of fact, I tried to vote for Bernie today. But New York has a closed primary. But at any rate, this guy would be a lot less dangerous than Hillary Clinton. And I'm going to just give you a couple examples of, speaking of Hillary Clinton, like driving me nuts. The most disingenuous, listen to her pander to African American folks, who I call blacks, in this video.
What's something that you always carry with you?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you getting information right now?
Hot sauce. Hot sauce in my bag, Swag?
Hot sauce.
Really?
Yes.
Now listen, I
yes.
just want you to know, people are going to see this and say, okay, she's pandering to black people again.
Okay. Is it working?
Oh, you know,
No, seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
that's why you coughing. You might
Wait,
need to
why are you
slow
looking
down.
at me?
Yeah, I'm having a rebellion against it because I think it keeps my immune system strong. I really do. I think hot sauce is good for you.
I mean, listen, that's not that ain't a pull quote. I mean, yes, it sort of is, but it's not out of context. I mean, honest to God, black people, I appeal to you. My brothers, Louie, the people that made our theme song, my brothers in love and weed. Who's voting for her? Honestly. I mean, what kind of a fucking goat-humping, dum-dum zombie do you have to be to consider doing that? And I'm going to ask you something. I know there's going to be some older type hags that are just, she's just wonderful. It was like Camelot when her and Bill were in the White House. All right. But ladies, none of these millennial chicks are digging it. They're not falling for that. They see right through her for the plastic ass that she is. And the rest of you should be ashamed of yourself, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you one reason why. But it's time for a woman president. Oh, okay. Would you vote for Condoleezza Rice? Nobody was jumping up and down about Carly Fiorina. There's a couple women for you. Split tails, just like the rest of them. But wait, they didn't have the little D after their name and be a fucking radical left-wing idiot. Listen, the young ladies aren't going for it. That's why everybody's flocking to Bernie. He's exciting like Obama was. You know, he's exciting. And like Bill was. But here's a woman. I mean, are you going to even, I mean, she really doesn't talk about feminism that much. She talks about this constant reproductive this and that. And by the way, these commie leftists love to mix up health care with health insurance. Everybody can have health care. That's known as going to the doctors. What you're talking about is over here, which is somebody who's going to pay for it. Don't think I missed it, sheep bastard. Back to Hillary. The disingenuousness drips, oozes from her. I mean, hot sauce, hot sauce. Is it working? I mean, if I saw that and I was that, well, you saw what the host said. They were kind of trying to be the least amount awkward that they possibly could. They have the former first lady here, and what a first lady she was. As a matter of fact, if I was the first man and I had a woman that was so permissive of my extracurricular activities, boy, wouldn't Scott be getting a little ass more than a toilet seat, I would say. And that's who you're going to look up to, ladies. Someone who's just walked on by their husband. And not only walked on, then comes to his defense with an incredible war room to smear these pathetic, idiot, big-haired women who, want to blow this guy because he's president. I will go on record right now. I'll blow any president. How's that sound? All right? So we all want, hey, everybody wants to be near the president. And Clooney definitely does and has. My point is, ladies, Hillary is not a role model. I don't think she's a role model for anybody. I watch these debates and I look for some intelligence. I look for something real. Like, for example, if she said the following. I'm glad you asked me that, Megan. Infidelity in a marriage is a real big issue. And Bill and I, because of his numerous transgressions, the only ones that we know about are more than I can possibly count. Put it this way, there's way more women than there are golf clubs in your bag, hon. But the thing about it is, she actually takes on these people to ruin them and smear them, these dumb ladies. That's terrible, okay? Now, I'm almost done picking on Hillary, but it's just that it just annoys me. I know why people hate Trump. They think he's annoying and he's obnoxious. I'm freaking obnoxious. So God knows what. But why won't she? I mean, just how can you just have to hold your nose for these things, I guess. Like, even if you don't, well, she didn't do anything in Benghazi. She was not at fault. She's not at fault for this whole Syrian crisis, her and Obama's policies. No, none of that's true. Well, what you would have to agree is true is that there's no reason she shouldn't release those transcripts. Are there now? Oh, because she's making speeches at Goldman Sachs for 250 grand a pop and more. And now before you commie nuts say, well, but Ronald Reagan made a speech to the Japanese. He spoke to them for $2 million. And that's more in today's money. Damn straight. And he went over there and just told him a bunch of shit about how we do America. What did she tell him? Did she go in and tell Goldman Sachs, now listen, you guys, America's a great country and you should just continue to outsource jobs and overpay your employees and cause another collapse? Nah, she didn't say any of that. What she did probably say, and I'm just guessing, she talked about how, stay with me, boys. Stay with me. Remember how good it was for Bill? We all got rich, you motherfuckers! It's going to be like that again. Barry is a little too idealistic. Not as much as Bernie. Obama's got a couple $1,000,000 in the bank, kid. Don't get me wrong. And he'll have even more. He's going to be the new Boutros Ghali, this guy. Golly, it's golly. Ripping on my dolly. Hey! Anyway, she's a crook. I don't want to beat Hillary all night, but anybody that wants to vote for her, you email us at this address that is right here now, and you tell me, why are you going to vote for Hillary? I mean, it's been, but once again, there are these brain-numbed dum-dums thinking out loud out there. I mean, I've really seen posts on Facebook and some of the other, media that I read, which is voluminous, believe me when I tell you. It's just been a wonderful, we're going to miss you, Michelle and Barry. I mean, he hasn't helped anything. He hasn't helped race relations at home. He certainly hasn't helped with all of his apologies around the country about Christianity and Americans and our greediness. He certainly hasn't helped anything for us abroad at all. I mean, I defy, once again, you email me, you call me, you whatever me, and just tell me. I'd like to learn, man. And I'm just thinking, every move this guy makes, does it strengthen the United States? Yes or no? That's he's the president. It'd be one thing if he was, you might argue Senator Jesse Helms back in the day. Well, he's a staunch this and that, and he's not really helping things very much. Okay, good argument. But he's not president, is he? This guy, every move he makes, not really that big of a help. And he's weak. This guy, Putin. He plays with him like a cat with a yarn ball. He beats him around. Hey, Mom, oh. He brings Obama back home. Look what I brought home, Ma. Oh. It's a joke. Watch this. Wow. That was close. That was a close one. Yep.
Bridge wing level.
What are we looking at here? Just keep watching, you'll see.
Below the bridge wing. Below the
There
bridge
he
wing.
is. Whoa! Hey! I'll tell you what it is. Listen, it's a Russian fighter jet buzzing one of our ships. Just toying with us. I know what you're going to say, but they've been doing this since the Cold War. Indeed, they have. We do it to them. They do it to us. Everybody, we're always tweaking each other, but Putin knows that this wuss Barry isn't going to do shit. In fact, guess what? Barry picked up the phone just, I believe yesterday, within the last couple of days, calls up Putin. Vlad. Wonder if he calls him Vlad. Listen, Betty, I'm going to talk some tough talk to Vlad. Can you get him on the phone, please? Yeah, probably something like that. Vlad, Pootie, Guess what they talk about? They talk about escalating Syrian missions, and they talk about allegedly Russia's, basically Putin tells him, go fuck yourself. Guess what doesn't come up? Was this incident right here. Hey, Vlad, can I call you Vlad? Oh, hold on, I can apologize or something, or have the Pope call you up. No? Okay. Listen, could you have your jets fly a little further from our ships because it's scaring the sailors to death? No, doesn't come up in the phone call. How is that possible, folks? This is what I mean, and it just shows weakness, and there's many that say, but do we need to project this strength? Even Trump talks about how, well, our NATO involvement is basically us protecting every dick who hates us and us paying most of the freight. Well, yeah, that's true. Because we don't want to be isolationists. Why not? Fuck them. Make them come begging to us. And that's one thing that I like about Trump, I'll be honest with you. The fact that the guy understands that we have these tremendous trade imbalances. We're basically like, we're playing knee football with our nephews. And we have to have one arm tied behind our back because we just beat ass left unbridled with these trade imbalances. And well, we have to have penalties and we'll have tariffs on our stuff going out, but not coming in. And you guys are good. And China, we owe you so much money. We're scared. Trump is on this like a bum on a ham sandwich. It is a tremendous, they need us as bad or worse because guess what? Let's say the U.S. just decides, and don't tell me, oh, I went to Wharton Business School there, Scott, and you don't know shit, and I know economics, blah, 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 blah. Go F yourself. Here's the simple fact. If we don't buy their stupid shit, if we don't owe them $1 trillion or wherever we owe them, we default tomorrow, what happens to that economy? How's that Chinese economy, that redistributionist paradise? How's that going to be looking, kids? Answer me! So, when Trump talks tough, let's hope that he's doing like they say, aim above the mark to hit the mark. He knows he's not, but you can hear by China's responses, they're scared to death. They're like, well, I don't know if that sort of rhetoric is really helpful. We need each other. Our economies are mutually dependent. You're goddamn right they are, because your human rights are so atrocious that you pay these pickaninnies that are in gulags, you pay them 4 cents a day to work. So how, of course, we're going to have our shit assembled over there. Which brings me to my next point. The service economy has been beautiful. We're delivering things. FedEx came out of it, UPS, all the computer companies, databases, consultancies, all this fucking shit. You could think of a million other things. What we've lost, though, is our manufacturing, and that's purely because of labor costs. That's all. Nobody wants to have a manager who lives in friggin' China or even Darlington, South Carolina, for that matter. Fact is, when you make business tough, when you make it tough for companies to make a buck, you overtax them, you overregulate them, you unionize them, you make the cost of business way higher, like the minimum wage nonsense. So, okay, you got $15 for a McDonald's worker. Well, does that mean that now I have to pay twice as much for a hamburger? Because those shareholders are still going to get their dough. But let me come back to the service economy. In my opinion, the United States cannot exist just being a service economy. We have to have a manufacturing base. We were the king of cars. We were the king of everything, basically, until cheap labor. That's the only difference. Nothing made in China is as good. Nothing made in Japan is as good. Maybe in Japan it's pretty good. Nowhere else in the world anything is as good as it is done right here. Okay? So the fact of the matter is we have to have the manufacturing base because why? Because we need a middle-class tax base. We need a place for the dum-dums to work. All right. I'm just dying. I need another half-hour show. Sir, I need another half hour to get through everything. I have to. But let me just leave you with this. Next week, we're going to talk about some of the North Carolina, the transgender stuff, the HB2 and all this nonsense. I'm going to get into some of that stuff, maybe even try to get some gay guys on here who I can tell you don't give a shit about this issue. It's a made-up issue, and I'm going to tell you why. And however, but right now I just need to tell you, we're here. Our email's everywhere. I'd love to communicate. We got Facebook, WTF America. Twitter's Real WTF America. All this stuff should be going by my face on the screen right now. I just want to tell you the following. We love you.
What the fuck America did to me? Trickery or conspiracy? Good white girl, not Hillary, kidding me. Nothing gonna change my sensibility. Life's a bitch, give it all the chivalry. Overheard in a broke man's soliloquy. Bust guns on, break 'em down lyrically. Ring bells out, talk about liberty. Not tripping, shit got slippery. Far from the truth in which proximity? Real authenticity, can't rate well when you're false officially. Leave marks, leave parts of history. Who do we charge for the scars initially? Watch your enemies. Everybody brother ended up shot Kennedys.